So let's talk for a little bit about the final project, shall we? There is no final exam. There is just a final project. It is due on December 11th. You're perfectly welcome to submit it earlier than that. I'm probably not going to get around to grading it until after that time when they're all submitted. But this is the big finale of the course. So essentially, what you're going to have to do for this project is find some data on your own, find some data of a topic that is of interest to you. Some projects I have had in the past. I had one student who really liked Taylor Swift and had like years of album releases, and then like whether they went gold or platinum or whatever, and then like how much money they made, and stuff like that. And yeah, she in her presentation she made no bones about the fact that apparently she is like super into Taylor Swift. So whatever, more power to her. That's one idea. Another idea is I had some students, there's a website called Box Office Mojo that tells you how much money different movies have earned. And I think what they did, if I remember right, is they got a list of like all the best picture winners from like the last 20 years or something. And then they had like, how many Oscars the movie won, how much money the movie made. They had, for the qualitative data, they had something like genre, like it was a sci-fi, drama, romance, a comedy, whatever they were. So, you can do something about music, you can do something about movies. If there's a sports team that you like, that you follow, you could do something about the Blues or the Cardinals if you were so inclined. The election just happened. If you want to do stuff about like, you could do a project, for instance, that would compare polls from before the election compared to the actual results of the election now that it's happened. That's the kind of thing I would find interesting, but maybe you all think that's boring, whatever. The point is, you need to come up with an idea of some data, figure out where to find it, and then it's going to be up to you. The first part of this is making your own spreadsheet of your own set of data. So it says collect reliable data. To collect a data set, you need at least 5 variables and you need 30 entries. So for instance, I did this thing about movies, for instance. So if we have 30 entries, we basically need like 30 different movies. So the movie project was actually probably the past 30 years rather than the past 20. But like, you could have, 30 movies that won Best Picture, have the number of Oscars that they won in total. You could have like how much money it made. You could have the genre of the movie. You could have whether it was an American movie or whether it was like a foreign film, like a French movie or a movie from the UK, or China or wherever. But you need to have 5 different variables, and you need to have 30 individual entries. And then you need to have at least 2 qualitative variables. So again, qualitative are categories. So like I've been doing this movies example, a category would be what genre is the movie and what country was the movie from, something like that. So, have some qualitative data. And it says we want to have at least a nominal one and then have one be ordinal. So, yeah, try to have an ordinal one and try to have a nominal one. ordinal would probably be, I think for the movies project, like the ordinal was whether it was nominated for an Oscar and whether it actually won an Oscar. Because, like, you know, being actually winning is better than just being nominated. So that would be an idea of like an ordinal level of measurement is you could have nominated versus won. If you're doing something like sports teams, you know, you could have that like they made the playoffs or they actually um, made it to the championship. Uh, and you know, different sports teams they tend to have rankings, like they were first in their division, they were second in their division, something like that. And then you need to have at least 3 quantitative variables. So again, quantitative variables would be numbers. So you could have the qualitative data being whether it wins an Oscar or not. The quantitative would be like how many Oscars it wins, how much money does it make, what was the movie's budget, something like that. So you're going to need to put all this information into the Excel spreadsheet. So you're going to need to tell me the topic, have sort of a brief description of the topic, to have the data set, variables used in their descriptions. You will, after you come up with the data, you will then want to, in a different spreadsheet, just tell me the classifications of the data, tell me what the variables are, tell me whether it's qualitative or quantitative, tell me its level of measurement. And then also just if you're, whatever website you're obtaining these data from, then you would just include the link to the website in your spreadsheet somewhere, showing me where the data came from. So then what you're going to do is you're going to add, you're going to have one sheet called data set with the actual data in it. And then you're going to have another one where you're going to, I've already said this part. So you just have a data set and put the actual data in the spreadsheet. So one sheet is going to describe the data set. One sheet is going to be the data set itself. Then you're going to have a third sheet in your Excel workbook, and that's going to be called analysis. It might be a good idea to copy the data set there just to make things easier. And you're going to need to do some analysis of the different kinds of things that we've done in the class. So for instance, the big thing with this is give me like the measures of central tendency, the measures of variation. So for the numerical data, if you're looking at the amount of money made by different Oscar winners, you know, give me the mean, the median, the mode, give me the standard deviation, give me the min, give me the max, give me the mid-range, give me the range, standard deviation, variance, like all these things that we've calculated. Do that for the numerical data. And then also give me different kinds of graphs. So if you have numerical data, probably a histogram is what you're interested in. If you've got categorical data, that's more where you'd want to have either like a bar graph or a pie chart. But do some statistical calculations for me and then make some graphs of the data that you've obtained. And then the last part of this, make a short PowerPoint presentation. I would say, I don't know, 8 to 10 slides probably would be enough. So make a presentation where you go over, describe where you got your data, describe what your data means, just to make it clear to everybody looking at the presentation so that they understand what box office means, they understand what budget means, they know what division champions means, they know what world champions mean. You know, just a description of all the stuff there. And make a PowerPoint slide, include your calculations, include your graphs, and then any interesting patterns or observations that you make from your graphs. You know, are the movies getting more expensive over time? Are there fewer movies that are winning lots of Oscars and that's more kind of spread around? You know, just any kind of patterns that you notice when you make these graphs. Just sort of describe what you see. Let's see, since we're doing everything via Zoom and everything, we're not really going to be doing much as far as like presenting it. Just make me the spreadsheet, do the analysis, make me a PowerPoint, and that's it. Actually, I'll just go ahead and take that line out. But anyway, that is kind of the lowdown on the project. If you're kind of stuck for ideas, I can give you some suggestions. I've already kind of tossed out some ideas already. You are all perfectly welcome to do that. If I get like 12 projects that are all about movies and Oscar winners, then that's fine. I'm fine with that. But yeah, pick something that you find interesting. You know, to find a data set that's about something you actually care about, and not just something that I've given to you. And I'm like, tell me about the arts in the Chicago Parks District, and you're like, I don't care about art. I'm not from Chicago. Why is that a thing? So, you know, if you need suggestions about topic ideas, I will be happy to talk that over with you individually. But that's what I had to say.